Welcome back to nflsnapwire. Let's get into it. For most of the last decade, January football was a guarantee in Kansas City. Super Bowl runs, AFC titles, and a sense that no matter what went wrong, the Chiefs would figure it out. But 2025 flipped that script entirely. A brutal 6-11 finish, no playoff berth, and now the slow unraveling of a coaching staff that once symbolized stability. When Adam Schefter reported that defensive line coach Joe Cullen interviewed for the Washington Commanders' defensive coordinator job, Chris Jones reacted with just two words that said everything. OSH, plus. That wasn't sarcasm. That wasn't a joke. That was frustration spilling over. Jones isn't used to chaos. He's used to continuity, to winning cultures, to coaching staffs that stay intact because success demands it. But after one of the worst seasons of the Patrick Mahomes era, the Chiefs are suddenly facing the kind of uncertainty reserved for rebuilding teams, not former champions. And Cullen's potential exit hurts more than most. Since joining Steve Spagnuolo's staff in 2022, Joe Cullen has been one of the quiet pillars of Kansas City's defense. Under his guidance, Jones thrived. Over Cullen's first two seasons, Jones racked up 24 sacks. Even during this nightmare 2025 campaign, Jones still led the team with 7 sacks and remained one of the NFL's most productive interior pass rushers. That's why this feels personal. Cullen isn't just another assistant. He's one of the league's most respected defensive front teachers, someone who helped anchor 3 straight Super Bowl trips. Losing him would be less about replacement and more about erosion, the slow loss of institutional knowledge that championship teams rely on. And he wouldn't be the first domino to fall. Earlier this week, the Chiefs parted ways with wide receivers coach Connor Embry after 3 underwhelming seasons defined by drops and the absence of a single 1,000-yard receiver. Offensive coordinator Matt Nagy is also expected to move on, already interviewing for head coaching roles with the Titans and Raiders, with the Cardinals also in the mix. Even defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo has taken a head coaching interview with Tennessee. For Chris Jones, seeing Cullen's name pop up was likely the moment it all felt like too much. Because despite everything else that went wrong, the defense, particularly against the run, wasn't the problem. Kansas City allowed just 2 100-yard rushers all season, tied for 8th in the league. They finished 9th overall in rushing defense, giving up only 105.7 yards per game. There's plenty of roster cleanup coming, but Cullen clearly isn't dead weight. Instead, his potential departure highlights the deeper dysfunction that plagued the Chiefs from week 1. Longtime play-by-play voice Mitch Holthus recently laid it all out, and he didn't sugarcoat anything. According to Holthus, the unraveling started before the ball was ever kicked. The schedule was brutal. A clunky international trip to Brazil, followed by Sunday night and Monday night road games, all before Columbus Day. A 10-hour flight didn't help, but that's the price of being a marquee franchise. Still, Kansas City wasn't alone. Teams like the Giants and Lions faced similarly tough opponent slates. But travel wasn't the only issue. Offensively, the Chiefs never found rhythm. Injuries piled up. Chemistry never developed. And for the first time in years, Patrick Mahomes didn't feel inevitable in crunch time. In previous seasons, close games felt like wins waiting to happen. This year? Not even close. After going 12-0 in tight playoff games just a season ago, Kansas City collapsed to 1-9 in similar situations. Mahomes' final stat line, 3,587 yards, 22 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, wasn't awful, but the late-game magic wasn't there. And it wasn't all on him. By week 13, the Chiefs lost both starting tackles, Josh Simmons and Jawan Taylor. Their replacements, Jalen Moore and Wanya Morris, struggled, forcing the team to dig deep into a thin roster. The season reached its breaking point when Mahomes tore his ACL, officially ending any hope of a late surge. The defense couldn't rescue them either. While solid against the run, Kansas City struggled badly on third-and-long situations. The pass rush outside of Jones was inconsistent at best. The Chiefs finished tied for 22nd with just 35 sacks and ranked near the bottom of the league in takeaways, managing only 14 all season. When you add it all up, injuries, inconsistency, poor execution in key moments, the result is a lost season and a fractured identity. That's why Chris Jones' brief tweet matters. It wasn't about Joe Cullen alone. It was about watching a championship culture slip away piece by piece. It was about realizing that the Chiefs aren't just tweaking a roster anymore, they're staring down a full-scale reset. As the offseason unfolds and the coaching staff continues to splinter, Kansas City faces one of the most important crossroads of the Mahomes era. Rebuild the culture, stabilize the leadership, and restore the edge, or risk becoming just another talented team chasing what it once had. For Chris Jones, the frustration is real. And for Chiefs fans, the uncertainty might just be beginning. That's it for today on NFL Snapwire. If you want more breaking NFL stories, inside reactions, and season-shaping analysis, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay locked in. We'll see you next time.